them come. This is their fate.
All right. Well, let's move on to the last topic of the day. We're going to talk about Callisto Protocol. Then we're going to be getting up out of here. But Callisto Protocol was one of those. Well, it was a game that was announced a while ago, but it has a release date. Thankfully, December 2nd of 2022. It is by the creators of Dead Space. And boy, oh boy, can you tell! I'm not sure if you guys seen the extended gameplay I sent over to you to take a look at, but essentially, if you don't even have to look at it, it's it's Dead Space. But it man does it look really good. It looks like the soundtrack and the sounds that they were doing, like the walk. You did you hear the walk, Josh? It was so reminiscent of like Dead Space and like the echoing through those empty halls and man, I can't wait to play this game for real. I'm so serious. Like I'm so excited for this game. But yeah, December 2nd. I was just going over like that Callisto's like pedigree and or not Callisto, but you know those developers. I don't even know like the name of the company right now, but the pedigree of ability to make a solid game, man. And this stuff is like going to be able to run on previous hardware and it looks like a really good looking game. It could put Dead Space remake to shame because we
I
all
think
know
it
that's
is
a
honestly, but
it's gonna
um,
it's gonna be like a money grab. Dead Space is gonna feel like a money grab after this. But yeah, what's your takes on Callisto if you watched it or I don't know if
I haven't watched the whole thing that you sent me.
mm-hmm,
I just seen a few snippets. But how I feel about the game is what they're doing good is that it's show don't tell. And I feel
mm-hmm,
like with the Dead Space remake, even though Dead Space is always going to be good, it's always been like a classic game. They don't have to actually do much
mm-hmm,
to for it. But I haven't seen anything from the game that seems like, wow, I really want to play this based on what y'all did.
yeah,
They talk more about what they're doing, but I haven't seen anything that's impressive. Where everything with
mm-hmm,
Callisto Protocol, they're confident with what they're showing. Like we made that space, and what we're making is just as good, and that's what's exciting about it. So I hope they keep it up, and it's coming out in like 6 months, right? But
well, not 6 months. It's supposed to come out December 2nd.
oh yeah, so it's
It's just
4 or
it's
5
this
months. Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Yeah, it's this
Okay.
year. Dead Space is the one that's coming out in like
In
February
January,
or
yeah.
January or February, one of those.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it's it's looking to be a real fun time. And I'm kind of glad that when companies can like leave their station and still come out with something like a hit, it's always cool to see because that means they're just dedicated and they understand the product very very well. So I'm really hoping that this is a big seller for them so that they can kind of continue on there with their you know that this style and format of gaming because truly I have never played a game like Dead Space, and I haven't played a game that can get to the level of intensity as Dead Space did at times. Even when it came to atmosphere, when it came to moments and fights, I mean, Evil Within came close, but it was nothing compared to like walking through that spatial place and doing your first space walk. And man, that game was cold. I ain't gonna hold you, but I just think if they can nail that stuff again, which I can see that they have different areas outside of just the ship, it's gonna be a great game. It's gonna be a great experience. So I'm so looking forward to it. Jalen, did you play Dead Space?
Yeah, I played the. I ain't played the first one. I played the second one.
Oh, you played the
Um,
Play
second one.
2.
yeah, I only played the second one. Just about. I got to the end of it, but I I forgot. I just kind of stopped playing it and stuff like that. But it's cool though.
Yeah.
I heard people liked it the first one a lot more than they liked it the second one. They said it was a little bit more horror based, and the second one's a little bit more action based.
Yeah, it kind of did the Resident Evil route. This Dead Space 3 was a partnership. I'm just like, bro, what are y'all doing? But
Yeah, Dead Space 3 with the trash. But I mean, I felt like Dead Space 1 was still had like scary scenes and stuff in it. So I mean, I remember being spooked. So
Yeah,
I mean,
two was still
two was still like
it was
somewhat
still
in the
good.
grounded. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just more action focused.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I still think that I hope that the Dead Space remake is good because I would like to go back to it because I played through all of Dead Space like a bunch of times, like beat the whole game with just the plasma cutter and playing the hardest mode. So it's a real good game. Hopefully, if they both good, then that's a win-win for you
Yeah.
know, space horror fans. But we'll see.
Yeah. So,
And if
that's
it do
pretty.
good, maybe they make another Dead Space.
Yeah, you talking about like the remakes? I
Yeah.
don't really want them to remake it. I want them to kind of create a 4. Is that what you're saying? Like,
Yeah, so
oh,
if the remake is good, then maybe they want to make more Dead Space.
yeah. The way they kind of ended it was like weird. Visceral was going crazy for real, for real. They was making a lot of good games, and EA, no, that company, I tell you, and that's the one I told you. I was like, they should have bought EA instead of Activision, for my opinion. If they would have bought EA, I would have been more excited because they just have a lot
Mhm.
more under their belt. But I'm pretty sure that ticket would have been way high because of that Madden, just Madden alone. Like they be scamming folks. But yeah, it's whatever. Just imagine having the Madden and FIFA. Boy, oh boy, you know those some scamaholics, man. That's probably
Mhm.
about 60 or 50 billion by itself.